In this video, we're going to be exchanging our current single tank propane system with a dual tank propane system. Our system has a single tank, a tray, and a regulator. So the first step you need to take is to remove our current system. You take the hose off and you pull out the screw that's holding down the tank itself, just a single screw, and you pull it out. Ours is held down by two screws. It's like a 10mm socket. Screw out. We're going to save these screws. We'll probably be able to use them to put our new tray on for our second propane bottle. This is going to be a typical setup for most RVs and campers. It's just a simple holder. It fits right on the frame of your trailer. This is the dual propane tray that we bought off of Amazon. We need to mount this down. The first step will be to drill some holes so we can actually put some screws in to hold this down to our frame. Okay, now that it's drilled, we can actually use two of our screws that we used on the old tray and a couple more that came with our new tray to mount this down to our frame. Okay, once this is securely mounted, we can actually put our center support in. Once the center support is in, we can actually put the two propane tanks on just to see how they're going to fit. Make sure we have enough room here.
So here is our single regulator that we actually already removed.
This is the new tray that we installed. So we need to add a dual regulator,
which is right here.
This part right here.
Zoom in. Okay, so there's the dual.
We had to buy an extra hose assembly for one additional tank.
So there's the one we originally had.
And this is the original one. We're going to reuse this part here too.
So this here, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but what did you say this was, Jim?
It's a new tank gauge.
Okay, so that's what we're going to install, and he's going to show you the old one.
This is the one we had originally had. It's from Amazon, and it seems like it's made fairly well. It's all brass, but the thing always leaked. It was either full or it was empty. There seemed to be no in between with this gauge.
This is the part that kept failing on us when we were in Florida and we almost lost all of our food, and then also when we were camping in Ohio and we had to keep running out and checking because it was so cold. We couldn't tell if we really had gas or not. So that's the part that was actually leaking. Okay, so one of the first things you have to do with the gas hose and replacing the single regulator with a dual is to wrap the tape around there. And make sure that you're not using the white tape. It is the yellow gas tape. So
it goes around 4 times.
Goes around 4 times. So, and then you have to do that on the second one. So there's what it looks like after, and there's Jim starting it on the second one. It actually says gas pipe tape, and it is yellow.
So after we get the pipe tape on each of the ends, 4 wraps around, you just want to screw this, each of them, into the side of the dual regulator. And you just tighten them down until they're snug. There.
Yeah.
Once it snugs down, you should be good. Do the same thing with the other side. And all I have to do is take it out tomorrow and actually mount it and hook it up to the bottles.
Okay, the next step in the gas bottle is we need to actually put the yellow tape around the actual gas hoses.
Fitting? Yeah.
The fittings. So he has to do that side there, which actually goes into the there you go. So now you can see it. That's what actually goes into the regulator.
Okay, the next step into changing the gas bottles over to a dual tank is to put our gas bottles on. Once they're in place,
And then, as you can see, the regulator, this part's below, then you have the bar, and then the top piece of the regulator bracket will sit on top of that.
and this will screw
And
down.
that'll screw down and that'll hold it all in place.
That's the plan, anyway. And it looks to be pretty good. The hole's on the bottom, which vents this regulator. Here's our switch to switch the gas tanks over.
Here, I'll show you. Okay, you gotta move your fingers, we can't see it. So there's the switch. The vent's down here. So we should be pretty good.
So it looks like it's gonna
Okay. So we're gonna attach the hose that goes in the bottom of the regulator where we put the tape on.
Here's the unit all hooked up now. We have the gas line to the trailer and to the bottom of the regulator, and then your two supply lines, which will go to each of the tanks.
Okay, so now we're gonna put it in there. Okay. Now said regulator on there. Oops, sorry. Okay, so now we got it down.
Now what you can do is just hook up your supply lines to your tanks.
I did that one.
But after looking at this, I have an idea. What I think we're going to do here is take this used hose washer, we're going to put it underneath here, and that'll give this some shock absorbing,
Yeah.
so that when you're traveling down the road, this thing will now be able to rest on that. And I just take my hold down, tighten everything up.
There we go.
Now I'm going to take a water bottle. I'm going to open these valves, take a water bottle and check all my connections with some soapy water just to make sure there's no leaks. So what you want to do is you turn your gas line on. And you want to spray all your connections. And you want to look for any obvious bubbles that are coming out. And I don't see any.
No bubbles is good.
No bubbles is good.
So we also bought a cover for this, for the gas bottles. And we noticed that these, the way we had them, were sitting, the gas lines. So we just moved the tanks
Sideways.
sideways so that we can go in this way.
A lot less kink on the hose also.
So, once we fill these bottles, this bottle we're keeping, We're actually going to take it to a dealership that actually fills the tanks. This one we're going to exchange because it's all icky, but from now on we're not going to exchange our bottles because we've been having some instances, no matter where we get them exchanged, that the bottles are not full. So it may be a couple cents cheaper to do it that way, but in the long run we're spending more money.
So this is the completed, assembled propane tank covers, and all you need to do is slip this on, like so, and then we wanted our access to be in the back so we can get to the regulator.
And then I'll bring that over so you can see.
So we can reach in, we can loosen up the bottles, we can change the regulator from here.
Okay, it's finished. So there you go. There's the finished product. So we can just pop this open.
We have 2 propane tanks now instead of 1. We have a new tray, which holds them. We have a new regulator, a new hose assembly, and the new cover.
So we will have another video showing the actual gauge on how we read the tanks, how it syncs up to the app and everything. Thank you for watching No Worries RVing, and please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you again.
Thank you.